Welcome to Esper's launch video. Notice something different about the surroundings? Yeah, we're on the water, at anchor, in our brand new old boat.
Of course, we didn't get there without a few dramas. This is what you call a Royal Thai bullseye. Some puzzles.
To get everybody in the position to be able to launch easily.
The usual bureaucracy. Too many fishing boats in the yard, and this might give you a better idea of how many fishing boats there are to get through. And problems actually leaving. There's just one problem. We've been sitting on the cradle for so long, the wheels have seized.
Still, we made up for it with parties.
Anyway, here's Helen's cute bum.
A bird's eye view of our launch, and of course, the obligatory first night at anchor, watching the sunset.
So here's what we've been up to since our last update.
When we last left you, we were almost ready for our launch, which was scheduled for the 20th of February. In typical Thai style, the electricians, carpenter and upholsterer were still on board working the day before we left, and we still had the decal to put on.
It's been well over a week since we did some filming, but here's a very important occasion that's happening in the life of Esper in the boatyard. Ton, can you tell us what's happening? So good, they named her twice. Right, it really is all go on a Friday afternoon. We've got our favourite upholsterer, Goran. Sawadee Cup.
Oh, okay.
And your son? Is this your son?
A friend.
Your friend?
A friend.
Yeah. So they're just putting up the Velcro backings for the seats so that they stay in place.
Yeah.
Which is going to glue and staple as well. Yep. What are you doing, Tom?
Acetone.
Good man.
Make Sigoflex.
And Sigoflex, his two favourite ingredients. So if you remember previously, we mentioned these speakers. These are the backs of the speakers in the cockpit, and these are a rather delightful Indian embroidered cloth. We've got these in Gujarat in northwest India, and these are all hand stitched by a young lady who's won a number of competitions for her handiwork. And this is the other one in the heads. They're various animals: elephants, camels and birds. Tom's also been putting our pictures back up. This is a beautiful oil painting we got commissioned by our friend Alistair, and this is a scene of Bodrum at sunset, and this was the vista we used to have from our boatyard in Ichmala called Yacht Lift, and we used to sit up on deck in the evening, and that was pretty much what we saw every evening for about 5 months. And that was where we started our sailing adventure. We said it's all happening on Friday. Here's an old face. It's Lek. Lek's putting on this is a tie coat which goes on before the anti-foul. So this is going over the top of the Jotomastic, which he has given a light sand. Whilst all that was going on, I attempt to fit my dripless seal. I appear to know what I'm doing. Right, dripless seal, let's quickly talk about this. It's a very hot Sunday afternoon. I've been battling a little bit with it. This is partly due to the access. You can see down there's the seal, and I've got this cupboard door with a huge lip. It's not very comfortable. One of the problems that I had was actually pushing the rotor, which is this, the required 1 inch forwards. And simply because of the angle at which I'm trying to get to this, it was very, very difficult to maintain that position. So I've cut two chocks there, 2 wedges to put in, and you can see the mark there. That's 1 inch. So I'm now ready to put in those grub screws. One of the problems I had with the grub screw was the fact that they come with this paint You can just see the yellow paint on here, and that's to make sure that it goes in nice and tight and snug and sits in there. Unfortunately, the Allen key that was that came with the package was not long enough, and because it's so tight it was really difficult to get a purchase, so I recommend using long-handled Allen keys for this next job.
That's all well and good, but we had a little issue with the seal, didn't we?
Yes. Despite my thinking so, the grub screws weren't secured tight enough and they came loose after motoring up the river. We followed Brendan's advice though, to over-tighten them, and it's all good once more.
One of the things us yachties have to do is paperwork. Not only for us, but for the boat too.
นี่เทคโนโลยี
18. No, yeah, 18. Oh, this is for him. Yeah. Fortunately, in Satun, the customs, harbour master and immigration are all relatively close to each other, and it only takes 2 hours to complete the process. In Langkawi, checking in takes 15 minutes, but in some countries, the process has spanned over a few days. Right, Jamie, can you explain to us why you brought us here?
Okay, well, this is what you call a Royal Thai bullser. We're down at the slipway, and you can see behind me there's a fishing boat waiting to come in. In front of the slipway are 4 new fishing boats that came in this morning. Behind them are another 4 fishing boats. Behind them is another fishing boat, and then there's all the yachts behind. Now, we told the boatyard that we wanted to leave in 2 days on the 20th, and there's absolutely no way that's going to happen. So that's the first problem. We're racing against spring tide, and for those that don't understand, that basically means that the tides are more favourable every 2 weeks in order to get out. And the spring high water is actually Saturday, so we don't have much time after that in which to get out. There's another problem. Tomorrow it's Chinese New Year, and the whole of Satun and the boatyard itself unusually will close for the day. What else has happened? Our electrician sent our most expensive piece of navigation equipment up to Phuket to be examined because we had a slight problem with that, and we were assured that we'd have it back on Monday and that the cost would be about 500 baht, which is about £10. There is no sign of that piece of equipment. He doesn't know where it is, so that's gone AWOL as well. What else? Oh yeah, well, we wanted to have a party. We wanted a leaving party, and with all these fishing boats here, they'll be working throughout the night in order to get them out. Anyway, we have been assured that we will leave this high water, but we can't be guaranteed as to which day that is. So it's all a bit frantic, fractious and frustrating.
Now that we had checked out, we were pretty much ready to leave. There was just one problem. Our timing had coincided with Chinese New Year, and that's when the fishing boat owners haul their boats out for a quick service. With Esper still stuck in the farthest corner of the yard, PSS was still hauling boats out of the water, instead of moving them around so we could go in.
That's confidential.
This is a new game we're playing at PSS.
Yeah.
It's called
puzzle.
We're not joking, maybe Esper can launch about April.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
stuck in here forever.
That's all right. Well, we've been here long enough. Another month's not going to make much difference, is it?
Yeah.
So you guys are trying to work out how to move these boats around.
Try to minimize the move as much as possible. First trial, I make it 15 moves to get everybody in the position to be able to launch easily. And now we optimize it down to 14, and still have to keep working, try to minimize it, which I don't know how many moves it's gonna end. But
So it's possible.
it is possible.
It's just minimising the moves. How many days is this going to take?
we think about maybe 2 days in total.
Right.
But let's say if we have to make 14 moves, then it may take about 2 days to finish all the moves. But we can try to maybe, instead of doing all 14 moves in 2 days, we just do only half of it. Let's say 7 or 8 moves, and leave it like that. Launch some people, and then we have more space. And the next, next time we move, then we don't have to make a lot of movements after that. Yep, we are trying to find the best way for now.
I didn't know you did this on a whiteboard. I thought you just did it in your head.
This is too complicated. My head just doesn't have a capacity, so it needs to go on the board. If you just move 4 or 5 moves, we still can handle. Too many, you see. Yeah.
I'm up on Brendan's boat, Aldebaran Bay. Not to take in the view, although it is rather magnificent. I'm not sure how much of that you can see, but the mountains in the distance. But really it's just to show you how busy this yard is at the moment, and the puzzle game they've got to move all these boats. So to give you some perspective, right in the top left hand corner is Full Flight, and they want to leave about the same time as us. Behind them, towards the river, you can see just about a number of fishing boats, and as I stand here I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fishing boats, which have all got to be completed and back in the water by the end of the weekend. Well, I'm now at the highest point that I can get to in the boatyards without a crane. We picked the biggest fishing boat and have climbed right up to the top, into the cockpit, into the cabin. And that's Aldebaran Bay there, where I just recorded that last clip from. You can see a little bit more clearly now, those 3 boats there. And we're in the centre track, and that's the track we've got to travel up and down to get to the river. And this might give you a better idea of how many fishing boats there are to get through.
Spring tides happen every 2 weeks when the moon is either new or full. Its gravitational pull on the oceans is at its greatest around this time, and with a tide lasting an average of 6 hours, we have approximately 3 hours either side of high water in order to not only get out of the yard but up the river and through the shallow waters that surround the Satun coastline.
Quick! Run! Run!
We cannot launch without firecrackers.
1 down, 2 to go.
We weren't the only ones looking to launch on this spring tide. Before us were Tamer and Full Flight. Both of these boats had had extensive work done to them, including new hatches, new rudders and resprays. Of course, it's always sad to see fellow yachties leave the yard, but we needed them to move so we could move ourselves.
So here we are at the slip. We're about to see off Full Flight, and it's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and it's high water. You can see the water's right in. So tomorrow it will be about 2 o'clock, and we hope to launch about 12. So they're just undoing the side panels now, which hold the boat in place, and then the guys go underwater and undo the cradles from underneath. You can see there's a queue of people waiting to come in. Another couple of boats there. One of which we know very well, which is Eeyore, who we sailed down the Red Sea with. A different owner now. Anyway. Some people don't have any work to do.
Yeah, it seems that it's lunchtime, Jamie. Just, you know, don't catch us off guard.
And our mistress.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 down, 1 to go.
Look at this pizza. Does it say? It says.
There you go. Nicely done.
As regular viewers will know, we've had a party or two in the yard, but the most important one was our leaving do, of course. This is where we said farewell to all our friends who joined us at Esper Corner. It was made all the more special by some huge pizzas from Bobby, surprise appearances from the likes of On, who kindly gave us a bottle of Moet, old friends from Satun, and of course the workers who have worked on Esper over the last year.
Any parting words before we go?
Have a good luck for you, Jamie. Come back soon now.
Here's a familiar sight. Pong in front of lots of beer. Pong, Leo, Pong.
Jamie, mauแล้ว
Yeah?
เมาแล้ว
Bow now, what's that?
ไม่ไหวแล้วกลับบ้านก่อน go home
This man is going to be hauling our boat out on Tuesday. This man painted our boat. This man built our hull. And this man gets drunk at reggae nights.
With customs cleared, most of Esper's jobs complete, and a slight hangover, it was an early start on Tuesday the 24th of February, launch day.
Here we are in the yard. It is 6:30 in the morning. Fantastic view. It's a shame you can't see this. The camera doesn't cope with it very well on the auto settings, but across there are mountains and a rather gorgeous sunrise there. And you'll notice in the yard they have cleared away. This is the first time we've actually seen Esper from a distance, actually able to get her in full profile. But we launch in 6 hours, so let's see how we get on. Still a lot to do. As you probably worked it out, they've just moved Esper over. She's now on the central track. They're going to be bringing her up here. There's just one problem. We've been sitting on the cradle for so long, the wheels have seized. What's happening, Terry?
Well, momentous day. Got a clear track behind us, and Esper finally is moving somewhere.
There we go. That's what we've been waiting for. That view. Looking down a clear track to the river entrance, and us pretty much ready. Took the guys 2 hours to get those wheels turned around 90 degrees in the end. Probably full of epoxy and fiberglass and paint and a year's worth of rust.
boats cleared, Esper made her way down the track on her cradle and into the slip. Our launch wasn't without its hiccups, however. After checking the seacocks and turning the engine, we had to calibrate the depth on our new navigation system. After half an hour of pressing buttons and frantic flicking through the manual, we still couldn't get a depth reading, so we decided to anchor downriver and deal with it later. We then had another problem. The struts on the cradle that held the pads in place were set too far back, so as Esper reversed, her wide beam meant that she was getting stuck. Fortunately, the hard-working yard lads managed to remove them, and eventually Esper slid effortlessly into the river, her new paintwork shining in the midday sun. After motoring downriver and dealing with a few leaks, we dropped hook, exhausted, and took in our first sunset at anchor. Next day, we negotiated the shallow exit from Satun and across to Langkawi, 25 miles away, where we finally got to drink that moet, whilst the most important crew member makes herself at home once more.
Of course, that isn't the end of the story, and that won't be the end of our video updates either. We still have a number of jobs to attend to before we can go off sailing. On top of that, we have articles to write, gear tests to undertake, and we have to fine-tune that rigging as well. We're aiming to do follow-up videos on the complete refit, including our navigation system, entertainment centre, the stainless work, and of course, that fantastic interior.
And for you non-yachty viewers, we intend to continue to document our travels via video. So whilst this may be the last of our refit videos from the yard, it's only just the beginning of the rest of our travels. We hope you continue to enjoy the updates and continue to follow the boat.